Mm-hmm. Oh, you might want to go ahead and pull up on this one. Oh yeah, listen. People was looking around like, oh my goodness, is G. Bush going live? How is he live right now? Oh yeah, we live right now. Go ahead and pull on up. We're doing the Ultimate Browns, but we gonna talk about some things today. Uh, I've been right for a lot of times, haven't I? I just had to come on here and shrug my shoulders a little bit because the political cover is now gone. It's all up out of here. Now we got all the footage of everybody moving around saying what everybody knew from the get-go. What we've been saying on Ultimate Browns, what we've been saying on the barbershop from Jump Street, as we've been on UCSS, has been proven accurate. And now the entire Browns community is jumping ship. We'll talk about it. Dillon Gabriel. We knew Dillon Gabriel was Dillon Gabriel for a long time, but now people got the heart to say something about it. Ain't that about something? We'll show you what people are saying, but I'll show you the facts and the receipts because I bring them everywhere. I bring them on the barbershop, I bring them on Ultimate Browns, and I bring them on UCSS. So we're going to go live and we're going to bring you the receipts and we're going to do some question and answer right here on this platform as well. We got a great show planned for you. Get your popcorn, get your rewinding equipment, get your VCR, whatever you got to go, because you're listening to a special episode right here of the Ultimate Browns. Let's go. Welcome to the fastest 30 minutes. It ain't even 30 minutes. I ain't even gonna tell you how long I'm gonna go today. I got my throat spray to go. I can put all my stuff together. Let me turn my phone down because we about to get into a great one because we got a show plan for you. We're gonna do a little question and answer. Get your super chats ready. We're gonna open up the phone lines. We're gonna open up the floor. We got some Q&A. You got some questions in this bye week. We're gonna get to them. So get ready and keep them coming because we're ready to go. Also, I told you about this a little earlier, a couple of weeks ago. Oh, the Cold War is now upon us. The Cold War, let me turn to make sure we get. The Cold War in Berea is now upon us. And I told you about this weeks ago. I did a whole episode of the barbershop on this. I brought this to the Ultimate Brown show. There is definitely a division between the front office in Berea, and we underselling it. And it's been happening in real time. Ain't nobody been exposing them, but we're going to get to them because the receipts is there and available to go on that too. We'll talk about that coming up. But first and foremost, the political cover is now gone from Dillon Gabriel and Kevin Stefanski. The cover is now blown all clear off of it. I told you before, the calculus was as long as it don't become abundantly clear, we're going to give Dillon Gabriel the benefit of the doubt. We're going to smoke screen and act like Dillon Gabriel was who Dillon Gabriel was from Jump Street. But I'm here to tell you, most people who saw Dillon Gabriel play in college knew Dillon Gabriel wasn't it to start with. And yeah, I sat on the panels. I had to be nice and kind to everybody and act like Dillon Gabriel, as they were telling me he was some digital superhuman a machine born from Skynet. He sent 3,000 Terminators in the past to get rid of John Connor. This man is the greatest chess machine, Deep Blue. He's beaten all kinds. This dude is the first TI 86 and a half. We heard week after week after week about how great this processing speed, getting in and out of the huddle. What does that even mean, by the way? What do you mean they just like the way he gets in and out of? See, this might be one of those episodes. You see, G. Bush, you can't be over here talking spicy like this. Usually, you're supposed to give the regular stripped-down version of the Brown. Nah, we're going to get to it. Because Sean King today, he blew the cover smooth off the whole. Listen, He came over there with the Rick Ross beard and blew the whole cover off the whole situation. I know this might not get no views. This might be one of them where it's like, ooh, this is a little too extra over here, G. Bush. I don't know if they ready to hear what you're saying over here on Ultimate Browns. But Sean King came over and blew the whole cover off the whole situation. And he told you what the facts was from the ground level, in which we already knew and we already was telling you. Dillon Gabriel wasn't nice like that to begin with. And it's funny when you're the first one to the party. Sometimes when you're the first one to the party, there's not that many people dancing on the dance floor. They're not playing the greatest music. They're not going to waste all the best music when nobody ain't there. But sometimes things happen for you, right? Sometimes happen where you're the first one there. And then you get a couple more people that say, I like how they're moving out there on the dance floor. They see you bopping and you're moving and you're really getting into your bag. And then all of a sudden they try to come on. Hey, come on, let's come out here and dance a little bit. Let's get the electric slide going. And if you know black folks, we get that electric slide going, everything can go. Listen, listen. You was born with the electric slide. You just got that in your back pocket. Next thing they drop that Cupid shuffle. Now everybody want to the left. Yeah, we ready to go. And so when we talking about this situation, let's see how G. Bush started off. And listen, I've been starting this off since when? Oh, he's the Duke of New Jerk. He's pandering. It seemed like a lot of people is pandering to the Shadorians then, right? Where's the pander game today? We ain't pandering and we just reacting to what we see. Let's talk about it, G. Bush. What did you say a couple of days ago? Let's see what I said. I started the party off like I always do.
Dudes told us from the analytical approach that they were in lockstep. They picked the players together. They choose the guys.
Well, they all go together.
There it is. It was a group decision. The Easter Bunny did not pick the players. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berea did.
Yeah.
Santa Claus didn't pick the players. So if you're sitting here saying, well, they're bad, who picked the bad players?
Yeah.
They did. Who coaches the bad players? Who puts you can't, this is what I told you 2 years ago. It's going to get to a point where you can't take a guy and Kevin's not going to get separated to the side anymore. He's going to have to own his mess. He's going to, and if he wants to play Dillon, trot him out there. Keep explaining to us why he's playing, and it's going to show us in real time you don't know what you're talking about. Because you told us in the draft, this was your hand-picked quarterback. It is the exact reason Shedeur Sanders doesn't get reps, because he's going to give every opportunity for Dillon Gabriel to throw his way out of purgatory. It's the reason he dropped back 58 times against the Steelers. The jig is up, Kevin. We understand what it is. We get it. And when you don't have Quinshon Judkins to prop him up, you see what happens. The offense is terrible. Kevin Stefanski has been outcoached by all types of coaches. The offense is JV, high school, Lakewood, St. Ed's dump-offs.
Oh, see, I was the first one to the party. You know, usually when you first went to the party, I was dancing out there by myself, but it seems like my brethren. Remember what I told y'all before? Let's talk about this political cover. This is sponsored by the dictionary. Political cover is an acceptable phrase in written English. The phrase typically is used to describe a situation when someone's actions are seen as providing protection or support for someone else in a political context. For example, the opposition party provided the mayor with political cover by supporting his decision to close the local park. Well, let me just tell you, we're not talking about politics in general. We're talking about the political cover. See, the political cover in Berea is, well, Kevin Stefanski feels that. Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns feel that. And the Browns think, and rightfully or wrongfully, the Browns understand. See, what happens is when you get to be 2-6 and your quarterback plays like that, the calculus becomes, as a talking head, do I want to attach myself and take the arrows for Kevin Stefanski and his pick at quarterback? Or do I want to just separate myself and make it be known that, you know what, I'm starting to have second thoughts about this pick. And you know how G. Bush does. I ain't got a problem being the first one to the party. I'll give you a political off-ramp. I should have looked that definition up, but I'll just paraphrase it for you. I got to give you an opportunity to say, it's okay. I know that you were wrong in the beginning about said quarterback, but I'm going to give you an olive branch. Here, just keep it real. Just come on out to the side and show me, hey, we all miss some, right? But at the end of the day, we just got to call balls and strikes on this thing, right? See, that gives you an opportunity to come on over. Come on over to my place. Hey, come on over. Let me show you how this works. And by golly, you know what? I think some people took me up on it. Let's start with this courtesy of 92.3 The Friend. 92.3 The Fan. I can't even say it because they're friends now. I shout out to them. Jonathan Peterlin and Nick Wilson. They've, come on over. Now, Peterlin, to give him credit, was already over there, right? Nick Wilson has never been a real huge Dillon Gabriel, but these are strong words. Let's see what they have to say.
Why are you asking us these question mentality on drafting a sawed-off quarterback who, guys, he throws 72 miles an hour, and he has to do that because that's the only way it's getting 15 yards.
We talk quarterback for 4 months straight. How many times did Dillon Gabriel get brought up in any sort of drafting discussions at all? If it was brought up in the slightest bit, it was by somebody that was really, really into it, telling us that he's a 6th or 7th rounder. Nobody believed he was a 3rd round pick.
Even they started to shape their narrative as, well, we think he's a career backup. That's not what you do with 3rd round picks!
Especially when you have a lot of holes in the team.
Oh, yeah. You see how, listen, when you're 2-6, it becomes politically, this is a poison football here. I mean, I'm not going to attach my name and take these little arrows and darts for a quarterback we all knew. By the way, let's continue to talk about that. I did a little research. Let's go ahead and go to PFF. I know that it's not the end all be all. But when you look at PFF and go back and as we revisit this thing, they shaped the narrative, and every beat reporter that came on UCSS, every person and reporter came on there was talking about the supercomputer, how fast, how he gets in and out of the huddle. They just like the way he's on the whiteboard. They love the way he talks. They just understand the game. He was ready to get reps right out the box. He was getting reps from day one. And you know what? He's so great because he's able to handle it. But if Shedeur Sanders gets reps, oh my goodness, he'll get swallowed whole and it'll look horrible and it'll be terrible. And everything's going to go to waste. But I just had to go back and remind myself and say, gee, Bush, what were they saying prior to this? Well, let's take a look at Pro Football Focus. Weaknesses. Gabriel's measurables, his height, his weight, his wingspan, hand, etc., all in the 35th percentile or lower among quarterbacks. That's quite a barrier to developing into a successful NFL signal caller. He'll be at a significant disadvantage, and some teams may even be scared of drafting him, period. The good news is Gabriel and players like Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, or Bryce Young have proven that there is a path to success despite being under 6 feet. But the problem is here, Russell Wilson was built like an athlete and ran at will. Kyler Murray is one of the fastest quick twitch athletes we've seen. Bryce Young is also one of those guys who's fast, mobile, can move, get out of the way. We've all seen that Dillon Gabriel is the statue that we saw he was. In Oregon, he's not running away from nobody. They even shaped the narrative that this guy needs to be running bootlegs because he was some sort of mobile quarterback. They ran a read option against Minnesota, and they looked at him like they had lost their mind. Are you going to run a read option out here? Are you done lost your doggone? I digress. By the way, this is his scouting report. Does it sound normal? Does it sound like something we've seen? Turns down open downfield passing options. Gabriel's average downfield pass in 2024 traveled 7 yards. That's the 7th lowest mark in FBS. Where Instead of litigating Shedeur Sanders and whether he was getting reps, maybe you should have litigated Dillon Gabriel and whether he was even an optional 3rd-round pick. Seems like Nick Wilson understands that right now, doesn't he? Feel free to hit the like button. I know this might be not somebody's cup of tea. I know this ain't really what I do. I usually just bring the receipts on the barbershop, but the receipts are alive and well today because I'm feeling in an off week kind of mood. Yeah. That's the nature of Oregon's offense. In the season prior, Bo Nix, now with the Broncos, had an average depth of 6.8 yards. The difference between Bo Nix and Dillon Gabriel is the Nix took advantage of downfield options. Gabriel's big-time throw rate was 3.2%, while Nix's was at least 4%. It's not a large gap, but it's significant when there's plenty of times Gabriel could have taken deep shots, which we've shown you. Me and Tyvis has shown you, hey, here's a deep shot he passed up right here. Here's another one he passed up right here. And Gabriel, when successful, when he's throwing the ball downfield too, he simply turned down far too many opportunities, either because he hit the check down too early or didn't see them. This wasn't very difficult to dig up. This wasn't difficult. But all offseason, I heard about supercomputer data when this was available and ready. Let's take a look at the summary, and we'll get back to the other notes and things. Dillon Gabriel is an intriguing prospect with extensive college experience dating back to 2019. He has demonstrated excellent distribution skills and RPO and quick passing situations. By the way, the Browns don't run RPOs. However, his NFL potential is hampered by his size limitations. The size also led to Gabriel's conservative approach, the same approach that we're seeing today, the same approach that we're seeing on film that nobody talked about. This is malpractice. The fact that they distribute this propaganda about how he was as a prospect, but yet still delivered the same little notes on Shedeur Sanders, they just switched their draft prospects. They act like Dillon Gabriel. He said they had him the 2nd best quarterback on their board. That's an fireable offense. For Gabriel to have success in the NFL career, he'll need to be an offense that highlights his quick decision-making. Draft grade, 4th or 5th round. The Browns took him in the top 100. We'll come back to Shedeur Sanders. We'll come back to him. We'll give you that. But first, I want to see another person who used my political off-ramp. I'm giving it. Feel free to come on the off-ramp, guys. Feel free. Here you go. Let's get to Ken Carmen and Anthony Lima on 92.3 The Fan. Shout out to those guys as well. Seems like they're over the little exercise and pretending that Dillon Gabriel was good to begin with.
I'm done with this. I'm done with this. This is getting stupid. And guys, this is what I don't need to hear any defenses of this anymore. I'm not going to try to be too mean to him. I know he's doing his best. His best is what a backup does. This is what backups do.
They play sure about that?
They play for a few games, and then they get figured out. And there wasn't much to figure out with him, and he's been figured out here. So you can expect more of the same if he continues to go out there. I don't think you're unlocking anything. You're not unlocking.
Are these the Shedorians we're talking about? I don't think the last couple of people we've seen fit the description of any Shedorians. I think these are, solid media journalists who are just calling balls and strikes on what they see. I understand that I'm the Duke of knee jerk. I get it. I understand that I'm impassioned and I'm the big circus and I'm a clown. But here's what we're going to do. I mean, are these the clowns you guys like too? Or is this, I don't think these guys fit. I mean, we don't seem to have the same ideology, right? But we see Ken is a little fed up here. He starts the conversation with, I can't do this anymore. See, that's a funny thing about when things become politically damaging a little bit. Like, I'm not going to attach nobody who saw Dillon Gabriel play. Where are they at today? Where are all the supercomputer comments Where is all the processing? Where are all of the people that sat up there and told you that Shedeur Sanders getting sacked 5 times against the Rams in a preseason game, which you guys say preseason don't count, but you judge and pick when preseason counts, right? Because the game that Dillon Gabriel played well before the half against the Rams, you anointed him the next coming. I had people say, that's why he was a 5th-round pick taking those sacks. He's running backwards. Well, I saw Dillon Gabriel run backwards too. 6 whole times against the Steelers. Why do you have a critique about Shedeur Sanders that's happened months ago? I ain't seen him play since. But I just saw Dillon Gabriel throw interceptions that were inexcusable. I thought he threw a pick to a linebacker that he just turned around and the ball was there. He threw the ball. I don't even know where he's throwing it. We wanted to see him throw downfield. He threw in a double bracketed coverage. And the safety was inexcusable. Where are you throwing the ball? Where are you throwing the rock? I mean, I'm not the only one. Hey, look, I mean, these guys like Quincy and Jake Burns and Orange and Brown Report and ESPN Cleveland. And I just feel like I'm not name dropping. I'm just feeling like there's a lot of people that are coming around to what we already knew.
Not a damn thing. It's foolish. It's a foolish enterprise. It's silly to go through this. I don't care. I'm done bickering about it. And here I am, and I'm trying not to scream for Shedeur, but I really want to scream for Shedeur. Because, guys, this is you can't tell me you're not curious. I mean, at this, what is defensible about what transpired?
The show is over. The domino effect, it is done. It's over. The charade is over. And this is what I told people from get-go. You can do narrative-based content all you want, but what's going to keep you on that football field is what you do between them white lines. And Kevin Stefanski is figuring that out in real time because we're not giving you any more excuses. You have none. We haven't seen Shedeur Sanders play, but we sure seen you call plays. And you're telling me that he can't handle this terrible offense? We'll get to how terrible it is. I got to get to a break, too, at some point here. I don't know. We just might go overtime. We just might go. We just going to cook today.
On offense yesterday. And the whole thing is that, well, after the scripted plays, because they don't care when you score on scripted drives, guys. They don't care. The NFL teams don't care if you score on if things get out of hand afterwards. Yeah, they care. But if they score on scripted drives and they feel they figured you out, they've unlocked your offense, they know they're going to be able to beat you. And that's exactly what happened. They drove around you because you can't do anything offensively. There's nothing that they can do. This is the worst offense I've ever seen. 38 years, save the 3 that they weren't even here. This is the worst offense. This might be the worst offense I've ever seen because
Lima, don't try to save him. Don't save him. Lima's figuring out, I got to bring him back. I got to reel him back in. No, Lima. No, it's done. The cover is done. Listen, I would love to see the chat. I need to see that chat. Lima's like, he's lost it. It's done. The cover is blown. It's every man for himself right now. This is the point where the Titanic was going down and they was getting them life rafts. Ken understands that I'm bigger than everybody. I need to get the biggest raft for me and mine. Lima is still talking about, hey, listen, he's still trying to get the band to keep playing. He's still don't maybe the band to keep playing. Nah, Ken understands quickly. He's like, yeah, this we can't come back from this. We got to switch this up. And yeah, we need to start talking about Shedeur immediately.
I don't pay that as close of attention to other teams as I would the Cleveland Browns. This is the worst offense I've ever seen. And then I used to because last week I'd say, well, the quarterback's real smart. Yeah, you're taking intentional groundings in the end zone. That's smart. Some of the decisions that you're making, some of the guys you're looking off, that's not smart. This is not smart. So the thing that I could say, I can't say. And if I said it, I'd be lying to myself.
Boy, this is how you line receipts up. Y'all might not. Here on Ultimate Brown, you're a little new to the receipts. This is how you line the receipts up, I'm gonna show you how to line the receipts up. See, I got to get you together. See, because there was a turning point that happened in Brown's fear today. Like, this is a turning point happened, an inflection point happened. People woke up, looked in the mirror, and said, I'm not co-signing this no more. I get Kevin want to run this stuff. I get Kevin want to do this. But listen, I don't care how much I like Kevin. I don't care how much I like continuity. I cannot sit here and lie to myself. And that's the great thing about the contextual sport of football. See, being the most watched sport of all time in America, it is almost like going to church every single Sunday. It don't matter what you do Monday through Friday, but when you sit up in front of that pastor on a Sunday and he get to talking about sin and repentance, you start to feel a certain way. And right now, we sitting all in a sermon, and it's Sunday, and the preacher is cutting up. The preacher is cutting deep, because everything he's saying is factual.
I'm done with the silliness. You're 2-6. We flirted with the idea of them being able to save themselves because that's what you do when you're a Browns fan. You try to put a smiling face on things, but that's it. So at least either A, I'm going to see something exciting, B, maybe he has a high ceiling, or C, I'm just going to be entertained. I would just like to be entertained by the offense instead of what this is. What?
There's 1,400 people in here right now. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button, because I just had to tell the truth real quick one time. I just want to let me get back and juxtapose something. Pro Football Network. Let's talk about Dillon Gabriel and Pro Football Network. What you see is what you get with Dillon Gabriel. He's an experienced quarterback with a natural sense of timing and anticipation behind throws. He's accurate. He's athletic. He's reliable in short to medium range passes. As for a pure game manager quarterback goes, he's steady as they come at the collegiate level. There it is. That being said, Dillon Gabriel's ceiling at the professional level doesn't seem to be incredible. He's an older prospect, entered in the league. He was 25 to begin with, and he's small for a quarterback position. His arm is good, but not great, and his deep ball is still a work in progress, hence the moon ball he threw the other day. The limits his upside, well, I'm projecting him. Gabriel does the little things well. We'll get him selected in the 25 draft. He feels like a good backup quarterback at the next level, and while he probably won't ever be the guy for whichever team he ends up on, he could carve out a nice, strong career for himself and make some serious money as a steady backup. 4th or 5th round seems like a good value for this type of prospect. And then it brings us to our thesis statement. Let's remove that, and let's get to my man. Let's get to Sean King. And Sean King put the world on notice, and this was it. This was the nail in the coffin. This was it. It's over. There's no coming back from it, because he put it in a way that was so damaging, that was so succinct, that was so crisp, that even the people that want to see Dillon Gabriel play, they had no choice but to say, dang, he got a point.
Maybe the most egregious pick in all of the 2025 draft was the Browns taking Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round. There's no way you can evaluate a quarterback position and have him rated as a higher prospect than Shedeur Sanders. There's no way that you can be an astute quarterback evaluator and think he was worthy of an asset as valuable as a 3rd round pick. We got to get to the root of the problem here. I mean, that was an egregious draft pick, and the die on the vine is very disappointing. That was a terrible draft pick. Now, don't accelerate the mistake by continuing down the path that you never should have went down in the first place. It's time to go to Shedeur Sanders simply because he was a better prospect coming out of college than Dillon Gabriel.
Boy, this is where it hits different. Let me take Sean King off here and put my little other graphic up here so I can make sure I'm staying on format. The reality of this situation is they tried to sell you on something for weeks at a time with no evidence. I was at practice seeing him still be errant. He got the most reps from all time. He got reps when Flacco was here, when Pickett was here. Since he stepped off the airplane, he's been given every opportunity to show he is doing his thing. While on the other end of the spectrum, Shedeur Sanders has been giving nothing. They won't even say the dude's name. Don't take my word for it. I wish I still had the thing. Shout out to my man, Joe Hayden. He just said they just don't like Shedeur. He caught himself. But let's just keep it real. Let's see if we can validate what he's saying. Now, I just showed you two publications. Two publications I just showed you that had him at a 4th or 5th round at best. I cherry-picked those because most of them said 6 or 7. I was trying to be fair about it. I said, I'm going to give you the best look I can. Well, let me go to the same publications for Shedeur Sanders. Let's start off with PFF, right? Let's start off with it. Let me take this down. In terms of what is his strengths, his accuracy, avoiding turnovers, high level of play when in structure. Let me just show you. Did you just really give Shedeur's whole profile and switch it with Dillon Gabriel's and try to make it seem like, oh, this is a switched at birth? So everything they said about Dillon Gabriel, you go back and you check what they said about Shedeur Sanders, and it's all here in black and white, right? High level and playing in structure, but the narrative is he plays street ball. How? But when you ask people, did you watch him play in college? It's no. I just trust the people that are saying narratives. All right, when Sanders plays on time or within structure, he flashes high-level processing. Oh, I thought he couldn't process. I thought we was only talking about the other processor. It's funny how this thing gets switched up. It led to the 3rd highest clean pocket PFF passing grade among draft-eligible quarterbacks. The narrative that he plays in some sort of street ball, this offense ain't nothing like the pros, and it's a night and day. You're lying. Why you be lying? It's a straight lie. Colorado's offense doesn't rely on a ton of RPOs and screens like Oregon's does. Instead, asking Sanders to process a lot of pre-snap and post-snap. You can't make this up, people. For all those people that don't like receipts, please leave the chat right now. You got time before I get to the next sentences. I want somebody to present this. And by the way, when people say, well, this is not what it is, by the way, when you are going to practice, y'all can't even watch practice. They watch stretching and that's it. So you telling me somebody told you something, you don't see it, and you just run with it, and you ain't seen him practice since August? But let's not convolute things. Let's get back to the lesson at hand. Although the Buffalo's offensive line often couldn't hold up enough to allow him to get through his progressions, when he did have time, he was excellent. Even when he didn't have time, he showed an ability to stand and deliver in crowded pocket. Sanders' 86.9 PFF passing grade when under pressure with time to throw under 2.5 seconds, ranked 3rd in college football in the past season. That shows he can trust what he's seeing from a defense and deliver despite a muddy pocket. I didn't even get to his number one strength is accuracy. I didn't even talk about avoiding turnovers. I just went to the lie about his cognitive ability not to understand or get out of a huddle what's going on. Maybe if you don't like this, please go ahead and check out right now because the receipts will still continue to come. Hit the like button. I'm just starting. Let's go back to the other one we saw, right? Right? What are we talking here? What are we talking here? Huh? Where does Sanders rank amongst the 2025 quarterbacks? Maybe, I don't know, maybe we all made it up. It says right here they have Dillon Gabriel rated 10th behind Riley Leonard, Kyle McCord, who got cut, Quinn Ewers, who is trash, Will Howard, who just ain't playing, Tyler Shuck is getting a start. But look at here. Perhaps the most polarizing quarterback in the 2025 class is Shedeur Sanders, comes in as our number 2 quarterback. There's no disputing Sanders' production and his pedigree. The debate comes with his projection. Just how good can Sanders be? Sanders makes his money with accuracy, confidence, and composure. His arm is more than good enough, but he's not a high-level athlete or creator with his arm and isn't quite elite. Sanders also has a tendency to drift in the pocket and play light on his feet, which can be harmful at times. But there's a difference between being the second quarterback on the board and being a 4th or 5th round pick at best. We shall continue the conversation. What I just did right there is deliver you why it was always a lie, why it was always a narrative, and now people are coming to the conclusion of. But yet and still, I think it's very funny for those who are out there who made a decision on Shedeur Sanders based on a very great game that he played against the Carolina Panthers, and some would say is the best the offense has looked all year. In a game where he took 5 sacks in a preseason game where guys were working for the Jiffy Lube or down street at the grocery store. You made the assessment and actually have gone to write that, listen, this is why he is where he is. But at the same time, you use anything that Dillon Gabriel has done to validate where he is today. With 4 games of this nonsense that we're watching, you continually advocate, well, we don't want to rush to judgment. But what the heck was the problem with you rushing to judgment against Shedeur Sanders? It's disingenuous at best. You know what it is. It's over. Ken Carman called it out. Shout out to them. Everyone sees it. You might as well come on over here to the truth and figure it out. Don't get mad at the messenger. I'm just pandering, remember? You can label me that, but it's kind of hard to label the whole game panderers. When we get back, we still ain't done. I'm getting started. I'm gonna tell you about this Cold War. We still got conversations to go. I told you we're not playing with nobody today. The fastest 30 minutes that feel like an hour that might be 2 hours, and it's the Ultimate Browns. Every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up in the biggest moments, and how could tracking their trends help you build your next big bet? What would it look like to combine live prop bets mid-game based on how action unfolds? How could a $200 bonus in bonus bets add to the excitement if your first $5 bet hits? New to FanDuel? It's a perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com/UCSS and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Welcome back to the fastest 30/hour/2 hours, whoever knows. I just live stream now with your boy G Bush right here in the Ultimate Browns. Listen, we cooking today, man. We did the whole segment. That segment was long as heck, but we still got it going. The Cold War is in full swing in Berea. By the way, you either mess with G Bush now or you mess with me later. You can call me the Duke of Knee Jerk, and I could be the biggest clown, but this big clown be right a lot. I told you about the brewing Cold War in Berea. I told you that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are on different tracks. I told you that the divide and conquer was alive and well. I noticed it way back when people started mentioning who was it really that took Deshaun Watson. I said, oh, hold on. I thought that y'all was writing that everybody was lockstep. You said the owner wanted it? Kevin Stefanski was sitting down, picking out plays with Deshaun Watson as he was running play action and critiquing him? Y'all, everybody in the Browns organization picked up and went and saw the man, right? But when it came down to the blame time, it was Andrew Berry who really wanted him, right? I thought that was funny. Well, your boy G. Bush be picking up on something. And today, a couple of days ago, on UCSS, this news breaks. Let's go ahead and give him some multimedia stuff, G. Bush. Why don't we? Let me pick this up. Let me pick this right on up in here. Yeah. This is, I thought this was a little funny. For the first time in his tenure as Browns GM, Andrew Berry is not scheduled to speak to the media during the bye week. If Andrew Berry made himself available to questions, what would you ask him? I thought that was a little silent shot. Because guess what? Guess who is getting peppered with questions every week? Kevin Stefanski. Guess who is getting peppered with questions about Deshaun Watson coming back? When we gonna see Shedeur Sanders? Are you gonna give up the play calling to Tommy Reese? What are you gonna do at the bye week? What we doing with that? What about your receivers, Kevin? Why did you trade Joe Flacco, Kevin? What did you think about your offensive line and the tackles not blocking? Myles Garrett keeps slamming his helmet, Kevin. This is nasty work. He got the answer for all of that. I think it's very strange indeed, is it not? Let's continue to give him the multimedia conversation. Now listen, my brethren in the media have been sounding off on this too. Starting here with my man Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peelan, courtesy of 92.3 The Fan.
Even bother to send them out there and answer questions about their own failure. That, to me, is failure of leadership. And listen, it ain't fair. Football's not fair. Life isn't fair. But it's not right to Browns fans. And here's the other thing. It's not right to Kevin Stefanski. He deserves a little bit more than that, even if he's also a huge part of this failure.
Oh, and he's too classy of a guy to go ahead and speak up about this exact problem. He's not going to go ahead and bust toss Andrew Berry, but he probably should be thinking about whether or not this is making him be the best version of Kevin Stefanski to everyone else when he's the only person that has to be held culpable for all this stuff. But you got to face the music. If you're Andrew Berry, you got to face the music. That's the point.
Oh. And I thought it was also strange. Yeah, you got to face the music. It ain't like nothing didn't happen. Of course we want to know, whose idea was it to move Joe Flacco to a division rival and see him cook? If Kevin wanted to have him there as a backup and a stopgap if Dillon Gabriel played bad, I would like to know why you felt, whose decision was it to move up Shedeur Sanders to the second unit as the backup? Because all the reports was Bailey Zappi. Every beat reporter, I wouldn't be surprised if Bailey Zappi. I wouldn't be surprised. And all of a sudden, Zappi ain't it? I think it's kind of confusing. By the way, we talked who drafted Shedeur and he staked his whole career on Dillon Gabriel. He staked his whole life on Dillon Gabriel. He said he had the number 2 guy on your board. Oh, he liked him more than Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders. Of course he gonna be defensive. He gonna give him every opportunity because he staked his career on it. But I think it's funny that everybody was running around talking about Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett was gone. Never played. He got all them reps and was gone. Never played it down. I told you I was right about that one too, didn't I? So now here's where we added a situation, and I think we're already at a crossroads here, is that it's very obvious the owner and the general manager have staked their claim on Shedeur Sanders. They control where the transactions go, who gets traded, who gets moved. But Kevin Stefanski is still in control of who plays. And Kevin Stefanski has made it abundantly clear that as long as I am in control of who's playing, I'm going to die on this hill of Dillon Gabriel. Come hell or high water, it is what it is. Now, I've always told you, if you've been here, I've been the Game of Thrones. You guys can all come in, right? We all can come in together, but you report separately. And who's the hand of the king? Who has the ear of the king? It's a very powerful position. And it seems to me that Andrew Berry, based on some of the things that he was able to get off, seems to be gaining a little power. Quinshon Judkins, he stuck his neck out for Quinn, especially when he was in that legal trouble. Andrew Berry was looking tired. He was going through it. But when Quinshon Judkins came through, didn't have nothing happen to him, and became their best player, all of a sudden, you get a little more standing. When you get a Harold Fannin Jr., you got a little more standing. When you getting guys like that, and he said, yeah, hey, look, Miles is upset, but guess what? Hey, listen, hey, come, Jimmy, no, Miles is tripping. But let me tell you something. See, Miles he liked what Shedeur been doing behind the scenes. He's still playing hard. He got 5 sacks. We need to see what Shedeur talking about. You know what I'm saying? But Kevin on he doing this Dillon Gabriel. I get it. Dillon the backup, man. At some point in time, we're going to have to make a move. Well, you know what? You might be right. Right now, we came off a win. No. That's fool's gold. That was Miami. You see what they was doing. They just handed the ball to Judkins 100 times. I told you Judkins was nice. That was my guy. But we can't pass the ball. Watch, we're going to go with the Patriots. You know how, what's the name do it? You know Vrabel. You know he be cooking up. He about to shut all that little noise down. Vrabel comes out, man. After them first little gimmick plays, we smoked him. Jimmy heard that loud and clear. He don't like to get showed up. The king don't like to be shown up. Especially from his old employee. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to visit everything except for the quarterback. So now, Kevin done dug his heels in. You know what? If y'all going to get rid of me, the only way he playing, you better come down here yourself and put him in the game. Oh, it's getting deep. Oh, it's getting epic. It's getting epic. And this sealed the deal for me. I knew this was true right here. I felt comfortable with this. What? This I should have been watching this because Mary Kay said this on Basket and Phelps. After let's see what she said right here. And I thought this was Peachy King. I said, when did they start doing this? Courtesy of 92.
I think the thing that makes it weird is the fact that he's done it every single year since they have been here. The thing that doesn't make it weird is that most other GMs don't do it. When you look around the AFC North, most of those guys don't come out and speak at the bye week, and it's not a common thing that necessarily happens around the league. A lot of times, NFL teams will want their coach to be the spokesman for the football team during the season, and then the GM talks at other various points, pre-draft and in training camp and whatnot, combine and owners meetings. But during the season, a lot of teams want their coach to just be front and center and not have someone else out there talking. So they made their decision this year to do it this way. And I know they're getting pushback on it and people are confused about it. And maybe they'll change it up again next year, but this is what they decided to do. These coaches are professionals. They can handle addressing those kinds of situations, and it happens all over the league. So I don't think anybody needs to worry too much about Kevin in those types of situations. It's not like he's up there quaking in his shoes, not able to answer about a trade. I mean, he's a tough-minded guy, and he can handle all that. I just think it's a strategy that a lot of teams employ. And the Browns, again, maybe because they're getting so much pushback on it, maybe they'll switch it up and go back next year to having him come out at the bye week. But I think they kind of want Kevin to be the spokesman for now.
Is it the spokesman or the fall guy? I mean, it could be seen as either or. I'm just a little old Mac defensive lineman. But didn't I tell you? What kind of noise is that? NFL teams just, this is the way it's ran. This almost sounds like when you playing with a little kid and they change the rules mid round. They'd be like, no, the new rule is that if you are taller and older, then you lose all your turns to me, and it's my turn now. When did this man speaks every year at the bye? All of a sudden, they want Kevin to be the spokesperson for everything? How are you going to be the spokesperson for everything when you don't know why they made the trade? The general manager, by league rules, has to turn the trade in. Even if you had no wherewithal and understanding of the trade couldn't even have passed without it's sparked by the general manager. And all of a sudden he's missing. What is he missing for? What questions is he scared to answer? I'm confused. Well, I'm not confused. There's a divide. See, when you start taking L's and it's every man for himself, all that kumbaya stuff go out the way. In the words of Kendrick Lamar, all that kumbaya, vibing, aligned talk. This started happening when they had to pick a side. Which one of y'all took Deshaun Watson? When the media named that as the worst trade of all time, it was on somebody's resume. You pick which one it's going to be. When Baker Mayfield started cooking, they started asking, which one of y'all couldn't get through to Baker? Why he playing his best football? Which one of y'all turned around and you was going to trade Myles Garrett, but you brought him back? And now we mad again. Which one of y'all was it? Which one of y'all wasn't getting DTR ready to play? Which one of y'all don't like wide receivers and can't draft them? Why you ain't got no offensive linemen? And what happened to all of those quarterbacks that you had that were veterans that were supposed to be taking these reps that are traded? I'm just asking. I'm a conspiracy theorist, the Duke of Knee Jerk. I'm just giving you the receipts. Food for thought. You do the dishes. Coming up next, we get to your question and answers. Get them ready, because we'll take them. It's G Bush right here on the Ultimate Browns. Yeah, I told you. We brought the barbershop flavor to Ultimate Browns. You know what it is, 9 to 11 every single Saturday. If you don't be watching, you're tripping. It's simulcast on the barbershop. It's simulcast on UCSS. It's the biggest show on Saturday. We bring the best entertainment. We give you the most platform. We talk to you guys. We do it all here. It's right here, 9 to 11, right here, the big homie, G Bush, right here on the UCSS network. We back once again. Let's get to your Q&A. Oh, man, I done messed it up. I thought I was doing good, too, man. I thought I was doing real good, and I was like, man, I'm killing it with the graphics live, and then it was like, so let's get to some Q&A. 783 people in here. Let's cook. Oh, wow. Man, we got a lot of these. We got a lot of these today. Let's get to them. Triz. Appreciate your super chat, my guy. Watch when Shador is good, they say playoffs. That's the way it happens. Usually, generally speaking, when you start to get good, you start to be like, oh, this is different. Let's start talking about what we always, we always knew, G, that Shador always had the traits. It was just about the maturation process and the fact to get down the NFL terminology and getting in and out of the huddle. Stop talking like that. It's corny. And no, we all didn't know that. We've been on that. Not you. But we'll let you come on over and say playoffs. Potto Coffee. I think they meant to say Dillon Gabriel was cheeks, not a computer. Dillon Gabriel has never been that guy. Look at his 6 years, 3 schools, and every quarterback that was behind him was better. That's kind of wild. Let me think. Yeah, because the one UCFF quarterback that they had went to Florida State because he wasn't starting at UCF. He took over from there. At Oklahoma, he hasn't been better. I don't think he's better than Rattler. He ain't been better than Baker, Kyler Murray. He's not better than Mateer. He's not better. Who else? He might be Heupel. Remember that one quarterback that won the Heisman White? But yeah, he's not been killing it out there. By the way, Sean King put it so eloquently said, he has never been better than Shedeur Sanders at any level. Ever. He hasn't. It's factual. Like the fact that they really made this man a story. Like this is Jason Bourne level. Like they got him a new ID, a new portfolio of family members. They put him in a safe house, hid him for about 6 to 8 months, gave him all new fingerprints, put him back into the game, and all of a sudden he was him. I said, I had to go back and watch. They had me so confused. I said, bro, I had to go back and watch this and be like, yo, is this him? Was he really nice like that? I'm thinking, I had to go to practice. I said, let me go check out practice. Maybe he threw him different balls than I thought I knew. And then I got there and was like, no, it's the same. It's the exact same. Miss Bell, G. Bush, you put them in detention today. It was just a little lesson. See, sometimes when I'm on the platform, sometimes people be forgetting that I'm the receipt guy. I do a lot of laughing and joking, and I like to joke because that's what the show is, but I got to give receipts. Because if I don't give you receipts, then you just, oh, you're a clown. All right, well, I need you to refute what I say. Oh, you can't. There you go. There you go. Yoshi Dochi. DG wears a cardigan and a stingy brim out of the huddle. Man, listen, when somebody say getting in and out of huddle, that's a clear fact that they've never played no football. I will never say get in and out of huddle. What does that mean? That, like, it's like saying, I need to see how good of a driver you are by how you get out of your driveway. Bro, you ain't even got onto the road yet. You pulled out of your driveway. You checked your mirrors. You made sure your seatbelt was on. And that's how you judge whether or not you're a good driver? Not in traffic, not on the highway, none of that. You just, boy, you tell it, boy, Salvation 52. If the coaches in the front office say Shedeur is not ready, that probably means he's more ready than anybody on the roster because they've been wrong about everything else. All things else. Think about this. Think about where we are today. Think about the alternate universe. When I told you that Kenny Pickett should never play it down for the Browns, and he is not good at any level. We had people trying to convince us that he was somehow overlooked, that he didn't have a body of work. Like, I'm looking at his touchdown and interception rating. They try to make sure he was efficient. And how you look at somebody's touchdown interception percentage ratio, and then when it's bad, you're like, but I feel like it should be better than that. Well, it wasn't. This is why it's so dangerous to have an off season when you got to talk about stuff. When you have an off season where you're forced to have conversations about anything because it's a 24-hour news cycle and your league is 300, you get to a point where you start to be making fairy tales up, bro. You'll talk yourself into like cats really being him. And I sat here all summer and they tried to tell me Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel was him with a straight face. Only to be reminded that they are not good in real time. And then you have to have people be like, yeah, they aren't good. I'm like, I could have told you that. You could have saved you a whole summer. I told you that if you'd listen. But don't take my word for it. You got to go talk to Zach Jackson or Mary Kay or Dee or Jason or Bull. Just go talk. Don't take my word for it. I don't know, little me. I don't know nothing. I don't have an olive branch. I have some crows. I don't know why they used to call crows like magpie. Why was that? Like, I don't understand why that was. Somebody explain that to me on old school cartoons. Angela, genius. I like that. It's spooky Stefanski and Oregon coach Lanning had the same agent. We Colorado fans won't forget what coach said about Colorado. He hated Coach Prime and Shador. My dad is one of them people. He can't stand Dan Lanning. He do not like Oregon. He roots for every team, every single team that he's like, I want Oregon to get smoked. I came into the game. I said, bro, why are you cheering so hard? I said, who playing? I thought it was Ohio State. He's like, no, it's Indiana versus Oregon. He was cheering hard as heck. Can't stand Dan Lanning. Some people say that he's golf buddies with him too. I mean, allegedly, right? Allegedly. Matthew A. Cherry, Shador told reporters it wasn't my decision to sit. I saw that too. Somebody, allegedly. I'm going to tell you this. Kevin Stefanski is he's going to shrivel up. And he's not going to make this easy. He's going to make sure that Dillon Gabriel gets every extenuating opportunity to prove that he was right. And I'm all for it. Go right on ahead. Here you go. Shador Sanders, go sit down. Go sit over there. Because the distraction stuff is corny. If it wouldn't be Shador, he has a backwards hat on. How corny is that? Oh, he went and talked to the kicker. He's trying to be in the cameras. No, I don't want to hear that. He was miming something in his mouth to Rex Ryan. He was doing that. It was the speeding tickets. He's not ready. People crashing up. He's just not ready. No, Kevin Stefanski's not ready. How's about that? Kevin Stefanski's not ready. He's not a professional coach. He's not a professional level offensive coordinator. We've seen it on film. And Dillon Gabriel, his handpicked guy, is not a third-round pick. Nobody else was taking him. And the offense looks like what? So instead of focusing on the narrative that Shador Sanders isn't ready, how about you hold him accountable for the people that he's putting on the field that obviously are not ready? And how ready do you got to be in this rudimentary high school offense? Come on. The charade is over. The charade is over, guys. There's nothing to see here left. He's going to have to coach his way. He's going to have to coach to keep his job. And I hope he coaches hard, because the charade is over. Kevin should have kissed DG. It worked for the frog. He's looking for that prince. John Byers, can we discuss two things? Mary Kay's comments about 12 saying his availability Sunday wasn't his decision. Also, the CAA connection between Gabriel and Stefanski. I think we kind of touched on that. I pressed Mary Kay today on UCSS. Tyvis asked a question. No, Dustin asked a question. Matter of fact, go watch that episode today. He asked a question and said, well, listen, Mary Kay, people saying that Shador's not ready. Are we at a point where we say how much worse could it be? And she said, well, it could be because, Shador Sanders could run backwards. I had to rebuttal immediately. I told people, listen, if you're going to come on the show, you got to be ready to rebuttal, because that's absolutely crazy. What we saw yesterday on Sunday was ridiculous. Now, we let it slide when Dillon Gabriel got sacked 6 times because it was the Steelers on the road. I give you that. Right? We let it slide when Dillon Gabriel missed us some throws against Minnesota. We'll give you that. We even said, listen, we'll let you slide when people started to shift and say, man, some of this stuff these throws is turnover worthy. Like we couldn't even throw the ball against a terrible Miami team. We let that roll. But for you to come on and you say that it could be worse somehow based on your own imagination, and you have not seen Shador Sanders throw a football in months, is crazy, given the fact that performance that we saw. It's nasty work. Like I just saw him throw the ball in the ground for a safety. I see him throw the ball up. Like, and like, here, throw it up. Let's throw it up backwards. Let's listen. Let's just look. Let me just look. I just be having receipts on deck. Let me just look at these receipts real quick. I promise we'll get back to it. Browns offensive 8 games into 2025 versus the 2024 season. By the way, I like what you did there, Daniel Fusi. You know what he did? He basically said this was the time period in which Kevin Stefanski was calling plays. Because remember, he scapegoated Dorsey and gave him the playbook when Deshaun Watson got hurt, inexplicably. The same way he's considering doing the same thing to Tommy Rees. Tommy, don't do it. He been good for scapegoating offensive coordinators. He done did it 3 times. You better learn your lesson. But look at this. 2025, 15.8 points a game. It was worse last year. He was 32nd. Yards per game. He was at least getting 300. He's 31st. The Browns are getting 263 yards a game. Yards per play. You're still last in the league 2 years in a row. EPA. Last or second to last. Success rate. 32nd. These stats. I be saying, it'd be cracking me up. For everybody that's an analyst and always want to look up these stats, why is this acceptable to you? I don't care what a person, I don't care how I understand or I can vibe with a person. Those numbers as a person who is ahead of an offense is fireable all day and twice on Sunday. It is what it is. There ain't no skirting around it. G. Bush, I don't know how you don't blow a gasket every single time someone on the main show says, well, he's a 5th round pick. Here's how I do it. I eloquently hold my peace, go back to my crib, put shows like this together, and for an hour and a half or 2 hours, give him work. You're going to look crazy because you can say 5th round pick all you want. And they're going to say, well, he just said this for 2 hours and it's audio, it's visual, it's stats, it's analysis, it's analogies. There's nothing you can say about this. And it looks crazy. That's how I do it. Yoshidoshi, DG started 64 career games, Shedeur Sanders 50. Not much difference. It ain't. But guess whose numbers was crazier? Leo King Jones. G-Bush, the look on Dustin's face when Sean told him Shedeur was better than Dillon was priceless. Yeah, Sean was going in today. But today it was over. The official charade is over. Like, now when you go on shows, it's like you can't even run that 5th round stuff no more. Like, it's done. Like, you looking around like, bro, he has not been better than him ever. And it's hard to refute that. Ms. Bell, Kevin Stefanski had made a plum fool of Dillon Gabriel trying to not play Shedeur Sanders. By the way, it's unfair. Like, the way they did it, and this is why I don't be playing these games, the way they did was nasty work. It was nasty work. You know why? It was nasty work, the way they did it. Because they started using tropes and little titles, and he's the supercomputer, but this guy plays street ball. He's the smart one. He's the guy that is so far away. Come on, man. And then what happens is you build a person up and you build a person up to a point where now you got a whole group of people looking at you like, okay, if you all that, show me. And then when you fall short, everybody is like, well, what was that? You've been telling us all year he was this, and that, and we saw none of those things. And that's not fair to a rookie quarterback who's just going out here trying to play football. But why would you do that? And you could have diffused the whole situation just by saying, we like Dillon Gabriel, we like Shedeur Sanders. They both got their strengths, and we excited to see both of them get an opportunity to play and see what they can do. If you would have said that, everybody would have been cool with it. We'd have been like, yo, let's see. But when you start making one person this, another one person that, and it's just obvious at a point, you put yourself in a situation where now people is tuning in and you put a spotlight, a shadow on your whole organization, Kevin Stefanski, for no reason. Even when they come and say things about Shedeur Sanders, all you have to do is say, look, I get it. Shedeur has a very, big personality and he's known globally, right? But I know Shedeur Sanders as a person, and as what I see here. He works hard. He's intelligent. He puts the work in. He's humble. He's a great teammate. And all of those things, I hope you guys get an opportunity to see that eventually when he gets on the field. And guess what? It would diffuse all bad articles and people would go away. But since you won't say his name, the vultures circle. Let's get to it. Quietly legendary. Allegedly, Stefanski and two of Dillon Gabriel's college coaches have played for the same agent, or they have the same agent, his coach at USCF and Dan Lanning. Yeah, we discussed that too, but I do think it is true. They do know that, and I don't know what type of relationship, but there is a connection there. I almost want to believe that DG is on this ploy against 12, and he's okay with it. Levitt 6. No, I don't think so. I think he's just a competitor. Like, he's a dude that's undersized, and you got to think of it like this. He's living out his dream too. He's always wanted to be a starting quarterback in the league, and anybody who's played the position dreams of that. He got his opportunity before Shedeur, and for him, he's just going to do everything he can to keep the job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's rare to have two rookies competing for a starting job. It was one as the backup. And that's why I kind of feel like something's going on in the front office, because generally speaking, that ain't what happens. If Flacco's behind him, this don't happen. But we all know what happens when you got Shedeur Sanders. It is what it is. Resurrect Minds. 12 equals Candyman to Stefanski. He won't say his name. Yeah, he don't be saying his name either. He don't be saying, I appreciate the, he be avoiding like the plague. I'm like, dang. You ain't gonna say nothing? Jaguar 89. G. Bush. Do an AI comparison, Drake. My stats. There has only been 3 players that have done what Drake May has done. 6 sacks and a fumble. Shedeur is closer to Drake May than Dillon Gabriel. If you ask on a skill set, yes. Drake May, I think, is the only person that had like 200 yards, over 100 quarterback rating. I think it's only him and Drew Brees. But when in evaluation terms, who has the more upside? It's definitely Shedeur Sanders. Easy. Lord of the Drip OG, G. Bush is taking y'all to church today. They ain't used to this over here, Lord of the Drip. They used to like the barbershop style. They like, hold on. Who is this guy? He's been, how long is he on it? I thought this was a half-hour show. What is he doing? Oh, it's the bye week. By the way, yeah, I do got Boggs coming up. Just let's know. Hazy Eye Publishing. We appreciate the super chat. You know, Stefanski has the same age as Dan Lanning, coach at UCF. Kevin and Dan are buddies, and both have a strong dislike for Deion. Now, I can't confirm what Kevin Stefanski's ideology is with Deion, but I know Dan Lanning, he was hating. I know Dan was hating. Viva Hernando, what's up, man? It's like when they call you a conspiracy theorist and the conspiracy is proven true. Shedeur was always better than Dillon Gabriel. The red pill ain't always sweet. Who would have known? Come to find out, the conspiracy theorist Duke of Knee Jerk, actually his knees was planted on solid ground the whole time. Looks like it. Nita, what's up? I see you over here. You done pulled up over on this chat too. Stefanski's press conference, a reporter asks questions translated. Why you still calling plays? Have you lost the locker room? Shedeur can play better with no first team reps. So what are you waiting on? Well, Nita, I appreciate the question. Right now we're focused on getting better in all phases of the game. And we just look to put our players in the best position necessary. And our backup quarterback, whose name I won't say, is doing all of the things that we're asking him to do, which does not put him in the best position at getting on the field, which we like. Oh, I gotta stop playing with this microphone. I'm sorry, it's just loose right now. Mr. and Mrs. CWMS, beautiful couple. I like to see that. Honey, we need to take some serious photos. These people online is killing us with the picture game. Dustin's feelings were hurt when Sean Geek told him Dillon Gabriel never was nor ever be better than Shedeur Sanders, not even in preschool. That was funny. Sean was cooking. Dustin was all right after the show. He was okay. Dustin's a good sport. But Sean was cooking today. He cooked Bull. He got Bull up out of there. It was funny. We had to say it. He was just on one. When Cigar Sean King comes on, it's different. When he has his beard lined up with the cigar, there's nothing you can do. You just got to move out the way. You just got to move out the way, dog. Let him cook. Emmanuel Johnson. Watch the film on Dillon and Shedeur, and any intellectually honest will admit Shedeur is special, especially when the play breaks down. Shedeur going to adapt to the offense with this O-line. I thought it was I think right now, I'm telling you, why you think I had to do it live? This is the line of demarcation. After today, all of the charades are done. Dillon was doing this. I mean, listen, I hope he plays well against the Jets or whatever he's going to do. But this nonsense that he's some sort of elite prospect and he was better than, and listen, guys, just figure something out. You got 2 weeks, just like the Browns, all media members, all talking head, radio hosts, television, media in Cleveland. You got 2 weeks to come up with better material. You got to have better material. The material needs to be, bro, we can't say the narrative thing. We can't keep coming with he's not ready to play, because the way Dillon is playing, what's ready? And instead of Stefanski talking about he's ready to play, he may get this playbook ready. We can't keep coming out here like this, guys. We can't do it. Neil Gray, Stefanski is Captain Ahab and Moby Dick. He is obsessed in turning Dillon into a starting quarterback, and it will cost him the locker room and his job. Leave the whale alone. Let the killer whale hunt. Let Shedeur cook. Man, yeah, Captain Ahab lost everything. For what reason? Just let it go. In the words of Frozen and my little niece, let it go. Let it go. Listen, you got to let it go. Stony QTT. What coach are they getting? What coach are they getting this he not ready from? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one of the coaches is leaking that, because you got to think about it. Somebody in an organization is telling you that, but you as a person have to have a little bit of like, if I can't watch him play at practice and I'm seeing what Dillon Gabriel is doing in real life, in real time, I'm going to have to pivot, because whatever he's doing, I can't keep condoning and saying that this dude I ain't never seen play behind me ain't ready to play, and I'm looking crazy. I can't look crazy. Jason P. Should we look at Joe Thomas as the next coach? I don't think Joe Thomas want to do that. I think Joe Thomas, like his farm, he got some great premium meats too. We had he got some great premium, like Joe Thomas got a farm. He values his time. I don't think Joe wants to do that from what I know. Gregory George, what up, cuz? I think Stefanski wants to get fired instead of pulling the Kyle Shanahan with the 32-point presentation. I think, actually, to be truthful, somebody asked me, when do you think they'll make the move? I don't think they're going to make the move lightly. I think they're going to have to force his hand. Somebody's going to have to come twist his arm and be like, here. It's no longer in your control for them to make the move. We'll talk about that later on this week, though. We got stuff material on deck. Keep it locked. The bye week don't mean everything done. Bye week don't mean you ain't coming over here to get that work. The work is always available. What are you talking about? We're going to get that done too. Gabriel threw to wide open receivers in college. E-Unit in the 6.696. Guess what? And said it in the draft. I pulled the scouting report up for a reason. Don't take my word for it. I don't understand. This is Vicky, 25. I don't understand how they say Sanders not ready when he had pro coaches at Colorado. I don't understand it. Well, that's just not, it's inconvenient. It's an inconvenient lie. That's not, how's that truthful? And first of all, who told you that? If I told you something, my burden is I'm going to show you why I said it. That's why I say I laugh about receipts, but I'm going to show you. If I say Dillon Gabriel did X, Y, and Z and he can't do it well, I'm going to show you a visual. I'm going to show you film work of that. I'm going to show you analysis. I'm going to get you some stats. A lot of these folks didn't have nothing. They couldn't even tell you who said it. It's crazy. How? Young Among 7618. Appreciate the super chat. G. Bush, the difference between Kevin and the lead head coach is they know how to pivot and take the Trey Lance pick for Kyle Shanahan. He didn't have an ego. He realized Brock Purdy was better and went with him. Kevin's not a head coach. I had to stump and talk with that. I brought up this example on UCSS multiple times. I talk about it all the time. Kyle Shanahan, they traded 3 first-round picks for him. Trey Lance got injured one year, and you know what he said? Instead of me messing around, playing around, and figuring out 5, 6, 7 years in a row, the best quarterback I got is Brock Purdy, and he rolled with him. You know what kind of heart that take to go to your owner and say, we swung and missed on a quarterback, but the best guy we got was the dude we took in the 7th round and actually put an offense around him and play him? That's a head coach. That's thinking on your feet. That's not Ivy League ego. That's a dude who's working his way up. That's a foreman mentality. I'm in a construction foreman. I didn't work my way up from welding to carpentry to whatever. And now I'm in charge of some people. But I got to understand that every project got some different things that may go wrong. Use that experience to get what you need to get out of that. And use that other people's as an example. But instead of that, you sit here and cry about Deshaun Watson and all these picks when you seen that the Denver Broncos got up out of that trade with Russell Wilson. You see the Trey Lance trade with the 49ers. They got up out of it. All these other teams is pivoting, figuring it out on the run. Listen, Jalen Hurts was not the same. He wasn't even the same prospect as Shedeur Sanders coming out as a thrower of the football. And he'd been in 2 Super Bowls. You know why? Because the Philadelphia Eagles said, we'll take him, build a team around him, and let's get it done. The Cleveland Browns still running around here talking about Dillon Gabriel. You know good and well that Dillon Gabriel ain't never been stopped. X-Man. The play is to let Shedeur Sanders lead them to the new stadium that will draft his former left tackle from Colorado, Seton, and then get a wide receiver. Culture changer. He got the whole program ready to go. 2,200 people in here hit the like button. We appreciate you. Alex, in a strange way, I can't even be mad at Kevin. It's a clear AB is prepping to throw him under the bus at the end of the season. And if I'm going out on my own terms. Tony Montana. Did he like, hey, listen, you listen, Tony at the top of that office. He not playing with y'all. If he going out swinging. Nita, no trust in Stefanski. He has a personal plan to make Dillon Gabriel look better than Shedeur. G. Bush, your work is so important so Shedeur can get to play on the tape for the next squad. See, this is my plan is, listen, I want him to turn them plays over. When Shedeur get in there, go ahead and pull that same thing you did with Deshaun Watson. And, Watson was gone. It was Winston and Dorsey. I need you to pull that with Tommy Rees. I'll take my Nita. I will take my chances with Tommy Rees. That's the hope. Salvation 52. He's not ready. He won't run my bad plays. Kevin knows Shador would change the play and expose him. By the way, Sean King alluded to that. All the conspiracy theories is coming down to the bottom of the map. Sean King said, what did Sean say? Shador, he going to have some playmaker about him. He said, when you playing quarterback, see, that's the thing about Sean King. You can get mad at him if you want. When you play in the position and you play in the NFL and you play the NFC Championships games, it's hard to refute a lot of stuff. He said, hey, listen, they can call the play, but guess what? When that play get called, it's up to you to be Magic. And guess what? I'm going to Jerry Jeudy to tell him, hey, be ready. That's what Shador need to be doing. He need to be figuring out where he can capitalize. And the first thing you need to be doing is getting the ball to Jerry Jeudy and making him more involved in the play. Like, listen, if we got man-to-man coverage, I'm going to a back shoulder fake immediately. I'm just letting you know, big dog, we coming to you. That interview was great. Man, y'all go back and check that out. Antoine Jackson, 79. Stefanski needs to be removed immediately. He is single-handedly holding the team back. Stefanski is selfish. His hate of Shador is weird. Fire Kevin. I'm going to let you guys know this. The power of the Black Panther may be stripped away. Kevin don't have to make the decision to go to Shador. The owner will do that for him. I've been here long enough. I've known that the owner texted the general manager and told the coach to put Johnny Manziel in the game. Yeah, he's like that. He's a little, yeah. So don't worry about it. In a minute, it won't be Stefanski's. Yeah, he might be out of his hands. Aaron Schneider, if Stefanski coached the 2001 Patriots, he would have had put Bledsoe back in when he got healthy. He would have fumbled the Brady moment history handed to him. There are so many coaches that are like that. There are so many coaches who do that, who don't understand the moment. They're short-sighted. They can't see outside of their own 2 feet of purview. No awareness. They're the same guy that give the ball to LeBron James and tell him to post up when you got a 6'8", 240 freak of nature that does what he wants. Come on. Miss Melanated. Thank you so much for the super chat. There's one thing Kevin Stefanski and his apologists can't get around. Dillon Gabriel can't see his receivers downfield. He's too short, and his arm isn't that good. The computer needs a new motherboard and an updated processor. Hey, you can't go back and put your old IBM on the internet. It don't work. You can't, all them dial-up modems. Remember them AOL Instant Messenger CDs? They come in 3,500 hours of internet service. They used to send that to the house. My dumb self would be sliding it in there like waiting for the internet to come on. My mom would walk in and smack me in the back of the head. Boy, you need a modem. We don't even got a cell phone right now. We ain't got no regular cable. You talk about you got a modem. Chantel, G. Bush, the 5th round pick is stupid. Remember, the GOAT Brady was a 6th round pick. Purdy was a 7th round. Kurt Warner was undrafted. They are great quarterbacks. Chantel, I always tell people, it ain't about where you at. It's about where you go and what you do when you bloom. Wherever you at, you're going to find somebody that's underserved, underacknowledged, and a person that could be somebody. The good communicators, the good leaders find great people everywhere and then put a plan around them. Why are you guys sitting here saying it's 5th round pick when you should be looking at life as an opportunity? I tell people all the time, I was a no round pick, 0 round. I started getting in this game when I was 30 plus. Everybody had went to school for broadcasting. I didn't have no broadcasting experience. But you know what? I was a 0 round pick. Nobody had my own show. But guess what? Today, nobody would say I'm not a 1st round pick. You know why? Perseverance. Somebody saw something in me, gave me an opportunity, Steve and them say, yo, he was going across the internet. Say, yo, there's a dude that's sitting there talking for hours inside of a screen and it's entertaining. I'm going to give him a shot. They probably was like, listen, if this dude come up here to UCSS, he got about 2 or 3 weeks. If he don't do nothing in 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to have to get him up out of here because nobody knows who this guy is. And them 2 to 3 weeks turned into 2 to 3 years. Now it's here. We here, we do what we do. But it's not about where you start. It's about where you finish and where you can find yourself and wherever you at, bloom. So instead of worried about 5th round pick, worry about what the talent say and how you can maximize it. Hey, man, look, some people say, my wife used to be a tomboy back in the day. She has the real short haircut, living in the mountains of the Philippines. She's beautiful now. All the dudes probably wish you'd be like, man, I fumbled the bag on that one. Yeah, you fumbled. You let this little Mac defensive tackle come up on something. Shame on you. Lee, did y'all see that Kevin is represented by the same edge coach, including Dan Lanning's strange development? Yeah. Y'all done already put y'all listen. Y'all folks, man, y'all got a network deep. Y'all be moving around quickly. Ms. Bell, Kevin Stefanski needs to try this on Dillon Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. The disciple says, if they force him, do you trust him? I think if they forced him, I think he'll give up play calling. I think this thing is headed to a split. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This is the actual development we should be doing some working on. I think I think if they forced him, he'd give up play calling. Because I think they forced him to get rid of Alex Van Pelt. And he still don't like that. So it's a little divide. Sir Charles, what's the difference between Shador and at Colorado and Josh Allen in Wyoming? How many Johnny Unitas winners are 5th round picks in the history? I would have to look that up. The difference between Josh Allen at Wyoming and Shador at Colorado is Colorado had a more, it's a Power 5 school. Wyoming isn't. He had better stats. He was a more polished passer. But Josh Allen has a stronger arm, had bigger intangibles, better runner, physical. So he had some measurables as well. But if you talk about like statistically, he wasn't close. He was a better passer in college. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that because you're a better passer in college that you're going to dominate or be better in the professional ranks. And that's the thing that I keep saying is, you know, what are you guys using to diminish him? Like, I mean, I just saw a game again. And it's funny how people keep jumping back. This is crazy to me. You saw him play against the Carolina Panthers with no reps and no practice, and he threw tight window throws that had everybody like, whoa. It was so crazy that the general manager had to come down from the box and say, okay, you did your thing. But somehow that didn't count. No one saw that. Emmanuel Johnson, Cam Jackson, Shador have one thing in common. All shown flash of their potential from OTAs and minicamp preseason. And now Dillon isn't showing anything. You are correct. Myra Magnus. New theory. Is it possible to bury traded Flacco to the Bengals so that all of us could see it's Kevin's offensive system that is the problem? I think he traded him in the division because it moved. He was a guy, I think that was one of the guys, when they called him, he said, oh, I 2 birds with 1 stone. I can get something back for Flacco, who's sitting on the bench because Kevin benched him, and I can get Shador in the lineup faster. Mr. and Mrs. CWMS, Kevin Stefanski will get fired before he let 12 save his job. I think they may take that out of his hands. I think the owner is ultimately in control of who goes in the game, which is kind of the thing that Jay and Jason allude to. They don't like the fact that they do that. Jimmy Haslam has shown that he will do that, and he will continue to do that. Gotham Media Labs. Whoever coaches Shador must let him do his thing in a way in order to be successful. Every quarterback has to have their own vibe. They got to play within some structure, but they also got to give them the freedom to make plays. X-Man, AB is business genius. He's got 1,000% return on a 5th round pick. I always told you the best way to sell hope. Who in the next year's draft is going to have a following like Shedeur Sanders? You don't think the business people is telling that to Jimmy Haslam, who's trying to sell tickets that allegedly cost $149,000 for personal seat license? He's like, dude, the best way to sell that is with the guy who people follow all over the country. Nobody was going to Colorado games, and he showed up, and it is what it is. Uncle Kai, 263, Stefanski won't even say the man Shedeur's name. How the boss gonna be like that? Because this guy is Dillon. Wheezy. There's still media holdouts who are praying Shedeur never plays so they can say that he wasn't good enough to play. They better take the off ramp. The off ramp is still, listen, every week. Here's the thing. I think that most of the big names have already crossed over. With every passing week that he doesn't play well, the holdouts will become few and far between. And once the crescendo gets loud enough, the thing you got to worry about is the fan base. They start seeing them orange seats where people ain't there, not coming to the game, not as the community lot, he'll make the call. Very easy. Very easy. Neil Gray. Shedeur has to cook the same meal Dillon is cooking, except Stefanski is giving Dillon Gabriel more ingredients to cook with, but still the food isn't palatable. That's a big part of it. He is going to have to find a way to succeed where Flacco, Pickett, and Gabriel didn't. And that is how do you overcome Kevin Stefanski? Hopefully you get the play calling up. But that is a thing that he's going to have to figure out. Disciple. I'm sorry for Shedeur going through this, but I'm also happy that the novice is learning this type of thing happens every day in sports. Best players do not always play. They don't. Actually, I think it's really learning from high school. I think it's the exact opposite. Best players don't play. They rarely play. Only when it's very evident that you're just him. And when you get to the league, there's varying degrees. Everybody in the league is good, so you can hide people easier. Is my league? Sanders game versus the Ram, all 5 linemen from that game didn't make the roster, waived in August, and they took off his favorite receiver from the Panthers game. Why? I think he was playing, well, the crazy part about it, he wasn't really playing with guys. I mean, he really wasn't even playing with dudes that even had a chance of making a roster. And you talking about what's the little receiver, number 37? He pulled his hamstring. He was a local kid, too. I think he's back on the practice squad. He's back on the practice squad, too. Well, listen, we had a great time. I had a great time with you on right here on Ultimate Browns. It was a nice little field. We talked about a lot of different stuff. We got into a lot of different things, and we appreciate you pulling up on Ultimate Browns. If you like the content, if you're new to the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because we got great content right over here on UCSS. Make sure you watch. We got great content. If you're into the Guardians, we got Ultimate Guardians. Right. Preseason, off-season is coming up. Winter, we got 2 of the best in the game out on the Bulls, Zach Meisel. Hey, calf season in full swing. Ultimate Cavaliers, Jason Lloyd, my man Mikey McNuggets, 2 of the best brains in basketball, especially McNuggets playing. He does his thing, and he's all over it. They just went to cover the game. Cavs is 3-1. If you like the Cavs, make sure you check that out as well. My brother from another mother, Earl the Pearl, Ultimate 216. If you want the mix of sports and culture, he's the dude. Make sure you check that out. Him and Cecil do their thing over there. And, of course, it's the biggest in the game. Ultimate Browns right here on the UCSS Network. And you get the barbershop 2 for 1 right here on UCSS. So, with that being said, you never know when G-Bush might show up. And you don't never know how long these shows going to last. But if you want the fresh cut on sports, I keep the Clippers with me. Have a great rest of your evening. And as always, go Browns.